Avatar: The Last Airbender, episode 8 and 7. I'm reviewing both these episodes together because these are two-parters, though they are vastly different episodes, and it makes me really wonder why they're two-parters, because yes, the events of them directly tie into one another, but they both have very different things that they show off. Episode 7 is a really good episode. We get to see the first introduction into the spirit world. Aang knows very little about the spirit world. He's helping this village, and then he gets trapped in the spirit world, finds Avatar Roku's dragon, and he tells him, look, you gotta go to this place before this winter solstice happens, this little thing, and then the statue is gonna light up, and you'll get to talk to Avatar Roku. He's got something to tell you. And then he saves this little village, and then they leave. Pretty simple, straightforward narrative. This episode does not feel like the next episode. What I mean by that is because this is another episode where they're introducing us to a part of the universe that we're watching, right? Most of the previous episodes have introduced us to something of this world, and so like episode 8, I feel like, is when we actually get the introduction to the plot of the show, where the story is gonna have to go, what our end goal is, what's gonna happen, right? And that doesn't come into episode 8, but that's fine because these other episodes are getting us familiar with these characters and parts of the universe. So this episode introduces us to the spirit world, where the next episode changes the whole dynamics of the series from this point out. The other thing to note in this episode is we finally get to see more of Iroh. So Iroh gets captured by Earthbenders, and then they talk about him being a general and the Fire Lord's son, or not son, brother, which I don't think we knew before that he was his brother. And he used to be a general. And it's clear from the way Iroh talks about his failure of taking over this Earth Kingdom city, Ba Sing Se, is that he has compassion for his soldiers. And it doesn't really sound like a typical Fire Nation way of doing things, where my men were tired, whatever. We see even in the next episode, the way Commander Zhao treats other Fire Nation people. Clearly there is not compassion here. It's like, so that's, and then, the way he gets out of his own predicament, of course Zuko has to come in and save him, but, for the most part, Iroh was very capable in this episode, and very, intelligent, and kind of great because he is able to play the dumb old man, and then be able to turn that on its head and trick these people. And I think he's done that to a lot of the audience up until this point in the show. A lot of us just saw him as the dumb old man. And the more and more the show goes along, the less of that becomes true. But it's just very interesting to see that. And it's really well done side plot of the episode. Also, it's clear from Zuko's part of that, where he's searching for his uncle, he does have compassion for his uncle, which is, something that we didn't really see before. I mean, because the way he treats soldiers and everybody like they're disposable, that even becomes a plot point later in this and later in the season. Shows you that there is a deeper side to these characters, and that's really great to see. This episode 8, though, after realizing that they need to go to this Fire Nation temple in the Fire Nation, Zuko is on their tail, Commander Zhao ends up on their tail, so they go into this place, and we learn that this Fire Nation temple was created to have these people serve an oath and serve the Avatar, but because Fire Lord comes in, takes over everything, they're kind of screwed with that, so one of them decides to betray their group and help Aang get to talk to Roku. He comes, talks to Roku, and we learn our main point of this show, which is that Aang must learn the elements faster than anyone else had ever done this before as the Avatar, and stop the Fire Lord by the end of summer. So that's our goal. And at this point, that was not established at all. None of that. And that's what I mean when this show changes the dynamics of the show. Suddenly we are in a rush to do things. Suddenly there's a goal. Suddenly there's this, right? We're up until this point. Yeah, there's a war going on, but what was Aang gonna do? I guess he has to, you know, he's still figuring stuff out. But theoretically, this show could have gone on like hundreds of episodes of just Aang figuring stuff. It kind of, this show's so inspired by anime, it could have gone anime routes of things of just stretching out the story forever. But now we have a very clear consensus of what is going to go on here, and it's really well done. And yeah, it really, after this episode, you're like, oh shit, this show just got good, and the dynamics of the series are changing. There's other little things that go on this episode, but the main point is that just our dynamics of the series have all changed, and it's just awesome. There's just so much here in these episodes that really work. They don't really work as a two-parter, in the sense that yes, they directly tie into each other, but kind of every other episode of this show so far, in a way, is directly tied into itself. So, it could just been any whole episodes, but I'm gonna try and combine two-parters into one review, just because I am trying to review this show pretty quickly, and we have about 53 more episodes of this show to go. So it's there's still a lot more of this to go. The goal is to finish reviewing this show by next year in June. I want to be finished with this whole show, and I think I can do that. So let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.